I just walked downstairs and Spencer was cooking some chicken.
Yeah, as men do. We cook chicken.
This was but you were boiling it. Yeah. You were boiling. I've never done that before. So maybe people do that all the time. He was boiling chicken.
Doesn't dry it out.
And it actually tasted really good. So would you mind sharing? Because when I first looked at it, I was
you waited this whole time to tell me that until we were on camera.
But when I looked at it,
you just wanted to make me feel good for this show.
I told you, I was like, I'm not eating that because it did not look good. It was boiling in water, and there was like this red sauce stuff on it. Like what did you do to it though? And there were like lemon peels.
Dude, it took me like 30 seconds. I threw chicken into a metal pan and then like a boiling pan, and then I saw lemons in the fridge already diced and chopped. So
I diced those for my tea, by the way.
So I put them in, and then I put some you guys will like this, is Buffalo Wild Wings mild wing sauce.
That's what you put on it? I don't know if I'm gonna eat them.
And then water, obviously, and just kind of gave it a little natural flavor.
Nice.
Good aroma.
So that's what the red stuff
mild sauce.
I thought it was like hot sriracha sauce. It wasn't hot sauce.
That's technically what it is.
But it was Buffalo Wild Wing sauce.
Yeah, it's a mild sauce.
Okay. So you made your own chicken.
Yeah, it's easy.
Okay.
Now we're going to make chicken and rice bowls.
Nice. Well,
with beans.
Welcome back, you guys. Thanks for hanging out with us today. If you're new here, welcome. I'm Mariah.
And I'm Spencer.
And we are a husband and wife real estate team in Oregon. By the way, if you're a real estate agent watching this outside of the state of Oregon and you have a client relocating to or just needing an agent in Oregon, send them our way. We love to send you a referral fee and we'll take great care of your people. But we are going to talk about today what we wish we knew before we got into real estate, because we have spent pretty much our whole adult life. I've spent my entire adult life since I was 18 as a solo full-time real estate agent. A couple years after getting licensed, he joined me. So we have spent most of our adult life, I'll say just our whole adult life.
Yeah, I would say that.
Running a real estate business together. We love it. It's amazing. We're so grateful for it. And we love our business. We love helping our clients. We love talking to agents and all the different things we get to do. But let's just think back.
Man.
What are some things we wish we knew?
Well, okay. Just to put into context though, some of you right now might be licensed agents. Some of you might just be trying to get your license and you're still in real estate school getting your certificate so you can go and take that test. I see so many posts on social media right now of ex-agents or even current agents that are getting part-time, second-time jobs.
You're seeing that?
And putting real estate on the side. I am. Oh. I see it often. And there's agents that I've seen have their license last 4 years or 5 years even, so they kind of jumped in it when it was good and now they're riding the coattails until they can't really pay their bills. Sometimes we can come into real estate with this misperception. This is going to be easy.
Yeah.
Everybody that I know is going to use me. Or,
oh my gosh.
I know my mom and dad, they're going to be selling their house soon.
Yeah.
Just because you have a license doesn't mean people are going to use you. And I say that gently and as kind as I can say.
It's true.
Because I've had really good friends of mine, close friends, family members, you name it, that I thought, they were in my CRM system for God's sakes, and we were showing them houses and sending them properties. And, you wake up one morning and you see on Facebook they bought a house. So
it seems personal to you, but it's not personal to them. They don't mean it in a way where they're like, oh, we're not going to use you. It's not like that, although it can feel like that because you're over here this is how I feed my family. Hello, you going to help me out? But that's not how people see it at all. To them, they're like, I'm just trying to buy a house. They don't see it that way, and you can't take it personally.
But I feel if you're just jumping into the real estate market and the businesses, don't expect money to come in right away. I really feel there was, for me, when I was just getting hired or licensed with my brokerage and Mariah had to educate me this whole time, they don't give you leads. Yeah. Your brokerage is not going to just, here you go. Here's some free business.
Yeah. What
I've come to realize, especially in 2025 as we're here, is kind of got to pay to play. Yeah. It's we're in this digital marketing world where if you are not marketing and promoting yourself, or at least on a social media platform to where, you're a secret agent. I love that term, by the way. Don't be a secret agent. But if you're not marketing yourself appropriately, And that's not like banging your chest saying you're the best in the world, but like
Yeah.
at least getting some type of name exposure out there. I just think you're going to be missing out. And if you're in those shies, you're the shy person, you got to get over it, because you're going to mess up.
Okay. Rejection. You have to be comfortable with rejection. You have to embrace failure, because there's no way to succeed in real estate without getting rejected a bunch of times. You have to be okay with that and expect that. That's not a bad thing. Failure is not a bad thing. You can't look at that as a negative thing. Like, you literally have to just fail over and over and over again until you succeed. Like, that's how it works. Like, you knock on 1 million doors and you finally get a listing. But to go along with that, you have to have an understanding that this is a business. I think one of the reasons why, I always want to say statistics on here, but then I don't know the actual statistics, so I end up butchering it. But 90%, so let's just say, of everybody who gets into real estate, becomes a real estate agent, doesn't make it. They don't even last, 3 years? I don't know. They do not make it in their career. And I think that it's because they don't understand this is a business. You get your real estate license, all of a sudden you are a business owner, you're an independent contractor, and you have to treat it like a business. And people don't know how to do that. You need systems in place. You have to have systems, consistency. And while everyone gets their real estate license for the freedom, and I enjoy the freedom. That's why one of the reasons I choose to be in real estate. The freedom is amazing. You still need somewhat of a schedule, and you know what I mean.
There's a cost.
You still
to the freedom.
Yes, there is a cost to the freedom. You still need consistency and routines and rhythms. I guess you could say. You can't just float and have your license and expect things to happen. I remember when I was brand new, I read the book The Millionaire Real Estate Agent by Gary Keller, the owner of Keller Williams. And while that book is now, I would say a lot of it is, if a new agent now picked it up, they might be this is outdated, because a lot of it is about there's nothing about social media marketing. It's all old school methods, but that really set the foundation. I truly don't, I talk about this book a lot, but I truly don't know if I would still be licensed or if I would have made it as a new agent without reading this book, because it set the foundation in my mind of what it looked like to not just be a real estate agent, but run a real estate business. He talks about leverage, leads, listings. And those were really what I focused on when I was a brand new agent, but just how you need that consistency. And anyway, I could go on about the book.
It's like a foundation setter.
Yes.
If you don't have, and I'd say a mix of multiple things as your foundation, because we are living in more of a digital era when it comes to real estate and the marketing side, because you technically are a market analysis. You are marketing people's property to make them max amount of profits with max exposure.
Yeah.
With that ultimately comes a cost. It's just the way it is in the business now. But if you don't know the old school methods to sell real estate, I don't believe you can truly carry on the traditions of real estate.
Yeah.
And how to not woo people, but understand the audience that you're speaking to, but how to convert, because in the end of the day, there is a sale to be made, right? Because there's 23, and maybe your area, there's 3,000 other agents just like you competing for the same thing.
Yeah.
So what are you doing to look differently? Well, I believe knowledge is power. And just like you said, reading those type of books, especially when you're a new agent, licensee, but also for me, that just gave me a light bulb. When I'm in the sauna, I need to be reading a book like that to give me a fresh perspective and just wash that over me and just bring it into my business and introduce things that maybe I'm missing out on, because let's face it, we are not the smartest people in the world. We do not know everything. Yeah. And so that's a really good idea, though, is to bring that traditional way of marketing, that traditional way of running a business, the traditional way of having friendships and relations, and bringing that into your real life and applying it. And I think you're going to just reach huge potential and growth.
Yeah. I had a conversation with a brand new licensed agent in another state yesterday. She was so sweet, and she was telling me, and I bring this up because this is a conversation I have very often. Her business plan, how she plans to get business, is all short form, and she just wants to focus on short form content. And it's well, that's great.
I feel it's gone quickly though.
Yes, you can't have that alone as your way of getting leads if you're a new agent. I don't really believe. Okay, another thing that I would tell baby me as a new agent when I was new, is that, because I remember I thought I had there were times, okay, when I thought I got my license at 18. I thought I had a lot of money because I was making, obviously I had a lot more money saved, because when you're commission only or, whatever, like I thought I had a lot of money because of my friends that were in college weren't making any money, whatever. That's who I was around. Like there was literally a time when I was like about to buy a plane ticket for me and my friend to go to, out of the country, whatever. Like I thought I had so
Feeling
much money,
rich.
but then taxes came. And I think that this is something that if you're a young person and you're a new real estate agent, you have to understand that isn't your money. You literally have to set aside 30% of every penny you make, and you have to put it in a bank account that is not your regular savings, whatever. It is a separate account that, because it doesn't matter, it doesn't exist. Otherwise, you're going to think you have all this money, and then all of a sudden, you don't have any money. And that's the lesson I learned the hard way. Thankfully, I learned it when I was young, because I'd rather learn that lesson young than being older now, but you have to manage your money different and have systems and different accounts and all of that when you are a real estate agent. Pay yourself first, put, I don't know, just the easiest way I could say it is put 30% of every single penny you make in a separate account that is for your taxes at the end of the year.
Yeah, and I mean, I would recommend. I mean, don't do your own taxes. Save.
No.
Don't look to save the few $100 you're going to pay a CPA, licensed CPA.
Yeah.
Because if you're wanting to make real life moves within 2-3 years after your license, because you have consistent employment, which is you yourself, you need 2 years of that at minimum. You're gonna need to show income, and that's like one of the, I would say, challenges for a lot of business owners is especially when you're first getting started without any assets, is how do you have proof of income? Because I think we live in America, we all understand we don't want to pay Uncle Sam all this money. We have write-offs, obviously, business purchases, you're doing it all legally, but then at the end of the day, you're only showing this much, and how am I going to afford my next home? You know what I mean? So a recommendation that I'm going to have on the financial world, I'm not a licensed CPA, I'm not a lawyer, but my advice to you is connect with somebody that doesn't do their own taxes, and you ask them, hey, I'm an independent contractor. Who does your taxes? And do you think they are aware of real estate taxes and can file for me? And trust me, it's worth it. Let them do their job. And ultimately, if you share your goals, what you want to do within the next, 2-3 years, they can set out that plan and make it happen for you. But that's going to be on you, though. Nobody tells you that once you get a license. Is how do you do your taxes? Because like you said, if you're not setting aside, in Oregon, we have a really high rate, like 30%. That's a great amount. I don't even think that's enough, to be honest. Then when tax man comes collecting, you're not going to have enough. And you're going to be making payments to the IRS.
So another thing that I would tell myself, to be completely honest, when I was a new agent, something I really, really wish I would have focused on earlier on in my career as a realtor, is passive income. Because at the end of the day, you can make, a couple $100,000 a year selling houses and whatever. That's great. You can have the best year in real estate, but then you're going to have to start all over the next year. And I don't know, like at this point right now, I'm intentionally selling less houses so I can be building a couple different streams of passive income that I know me in 10 years will be thankful that I did. And I only wish that would have started sooner, because yes, getting that next deal is amazing and it can become kind of addicting, only focusing on that. But I think the last thing that I want is to wake up and be, killing it in my real estate career. I'm 45 years old, but I still have to trade dollars for hours, because, it's never going to just happen. You have to be intentional about that. And there are ways as real estate agents to make passive income that go hand in hand together. I talk about that a lot on my other YouTube channel that's like completely agent facing. You can find that on our channel. But that's just another thing that, like, if I'm talking about not necessarily what I would tell the agents that I talk to, this is more specific to me. This is like a big thing that I would have told myself is, the sooner you can start focusing on this, the better, because your future self is only going to thank you.
That's huge.
Yeah.
That's really good, though.
Yeah.
And I mean, you as a new agent, you're going to come to realize that you have to decipher what's a good lead versus a bad lead. I think that's a big topic that I don't think a lot of people talk about much, because everybody's just excited to talk to somebody about real estate. But I have definitely worked with clients earlier in my real estate career that have just been a huge waste of time. And that was probably my mistake. And so a big thing would be get their lender's information, especially if they're getting a loan. If they tell you they're cash, try and get a bank statement and like say, hey man, I just need some proof. I mean, obviously I'm not being paid by you. Seller's paying my commission. I just need to verify our work relationship, you know. But try and like come up with a procedure to verify your clientele, and get a clear idea of what they're looking to purchase. Because when you're working with, you know, 5, 6, 7 buyers at a time, you can become really, really stretched like quickly because a buyer messages you, hey, I see this house, I want to go see it. Then another buyer messages you, and then you get these time frames. You can just really, it can become a problem. And if you're working with clients at the end of the day that aren't going to be closing, well, that's a problem in your bank. And we are in the business to make money. And, you know, verify your client. I think that's a big priority that some of us don't want to do because it's sensitive. You're talking about money with individuals that might not have much.
Yeah.
And it's not that you're looking for their social security number or anything. You're just wanting verification, little details that is at least painting a picture that's going to get you to a close table for them. So you can be motivated to work as well. I think that's a big one. I want to stay motivated for my client. Will this close? That's going to keep me motivated.
Yeah. And just having systems in place, I guess, is huge. This is something I think it took me too long to do, is actually getting systems in place for everything in your business, from what you do as soon as you get a client, you know, as soon as a buyer lead comes in, what's the next step? And just throughout the transaction, just I feel like all of this stuff can feel so overwhelming at first. I know I had a Zoom call earlier this week with an agent in another state, and she was telling me how she's brand new and she just feels overwhelmed. She's like, everything is just a lot. Like writing an offer is a lot. And I totally remember feeling that way. I remember crying a lot about this stuff. Like, I'm not kidding. So many mental breakdowns
She has
that just do not happen anymore because it gets easier. Like, that's what I would tell myself and just other new agents that I talk to, is that like, it's worth it, stick with it, but it does get easier no matter what brokerage you're with. There's learning curves. Okay. Like, you're gonna have times where it's gonna take you a long time to write an offer at first, but it gets so much easier. Pretty soon you'll be able to write it like no problem.
Absolutely.
So just know, like, that beginning phase where everything seems hard, because it is a lot thrown at you at once. It is a lot to learn at once. It gets so much easier if you just stick with it.
Right. On your list of things to discuss, I mean, is taking risks on there?
No, but it should be.
Okay. So, and I apply this because I know with every business, there's a risk involved. Okay. Whether that's overhead employment, whether that's monthly income, whether that's cash flow. In the way I'm going to promote real estate as you as a new licensed agent or looking to be licensed is, ultimately, you're going to have to come out of the nest. You're going to have to jump out of the tree and take a risk. And what I mean by taking a risk is knowing your worth and investing in yourself. Now, what does that look like exactly? I mean, we just came off of travels, and it was almost like a great reset for us in our business. And
it always is.
There was like this risk moment of, man, my current net is not where I need to be, and my current transactions are not where they need to be. This is not my goals. How do I up the game, technically? And especially when you're new, you don't know anybody, you know, and you want income ASAP. So look into what you can risk your finances into that will roll you into dollar producing assets, like income creating, subscriptions. Technically, right? So I took a risk, for instance, of dollar producing activities that I dedicate at least 4 days a week minimally, and that's cold calling. Well, with that comes a price, whether that's buying a dialer, whether that's finding the right dialer to purchase into. How am I getting the numbers and the contact info to make these calls? That to me is taking a risk, but investing in yourself.
Yeah.
There's no guarantee that money's coming back to you.
Yeah,
there isn't. And
that's
so
true.
The way you got to look at it is, if I land one deal throughout this whole entire 12-month series, I'm going to be paying all this money back. So it doesn't matter. Get me this one deal and work this thing as hard as you can. Because when you have nothing to stand on, what do you have to go off of? So take the risk and invest in yourself.
Yeah, that's true. That's honestly.
And usually that's going to be marketing. In our business, it's going to be marketing. Okay, promotion.
But also with like education, like you said, that's one thing I'm really grateful that I did when I was new was I was not afraid to put money, like once I started making money in real estate, investing it back into my real estate education.
Yeah.
And that's honestly what fueled my business. It's what fueled my YouTube channels. It's what gave me the confidence to go out there and get business. Although I didn't really know what I was doing. Like I just remember one instance going to, I spent like everything I had. And then when I got there, I was broke because I was a brand new agent and just had started selling. And I flew myself to the Tom Ferry conference. And I'm so grateful that I did though, because it literally fueled me so much. And I came back with like so much excitement about the business and just ideas and strategies that I immediately implemented, and those made me way more than what I paid to get there. And so just investing in yourself and your business in that way and educating yourself. The last thing I will say is I would tell myself start a YouTube channel sooner for buyers and sellers.
Can't go wrong.
Yeah, because that is the best way to get business. I really believe it's evergreen. It's the only, like you could be making all these short form content, but YouTube's the only thing that in 10 years from now is still going to be showing up in search, is going to be making you money in your sleep. It's the only evergreen content. So that's what I would say.
Yeah. And I mean, did you forget to mention it's free? YouTube is free.
Not only is it free, but eventually they start paying you once you get 1,000 subscribers, and they start paying you. So it's like, anyway. Okay.
Last thing.
Yes. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Don't cut us off yet. When you're new, there's so many things thrown out at you. Like, what should you do first? Should you focus in this area? Should you go here? Should you door knock? Should you focus on Facebook? I'm going to advise that you do one thing and do it very, very well, and do that for 30 days straight. Do it for 30 days.
3 months plus.
Okay, there you go. But regardless, do one thing well. Okay. You're going to get 5 different marketing strategies that you think you can do. If you can do all 5 of them, great. But what I'm going to tell you is, especially getting into the business right off the bat, get really good at your specialty.
Yeah.
Get really good at the one thing that you actually enjoy to do. If you like getting outside door knocking, door knock every day. Do it. If you like getting in front of a camera, get in front of the camera every day. Do it. Okay? But find one strategy that you are going to do consistently for the remainder years of your business that's going to drive you to get money.
Yeah.
Because if you get really good at one thing and it works, you're going to get excited and stay in this business a heck of a lot longer. And over the years, that's something I've caught myself doing, is I've done too much at once and just trying to throw things at the wall and hoping it sticks. Do one thing well and perfect it.
Thank you guys for hanging out with us today. If you haven't already, subscribe and hit the bell, and we'll see you guys next time.